What's cracking, everybody? What's cracking?
What's cracking with it, man?
Sencal Native, Fat TV, Street Pulse exclusive, Hip Hop Nation Junior. We're waiting for the notifications to go out for a gunner right now. There we go. Now they're coming in.
Anthony's tapped in. Mac 11's tapped in. Street Pulse. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's good to see everyone. It's early morning, man. Buenos dias. Early morning, man. Let's get to it. East Side Boyfriend is in here. You know, let's get straight to it. What's up with it, man? Annette, Jose, Hip Hop Swagged Out, Rise.
What up? What up? What up?
We're gonna have a little discussion this morning. Something pertinent to the Vegas shooting case is going down today, you know.
So today, we'll just start jumping into it right now. Today is actually a hearing. Manny Wise will not be there. His lawyers won't be there. It has nothing to do with them, what they feel, what they think, what any excuses are. Today is a hearing basically with some committee. I guess that's what they do over there, you know. And they're going to decide whether or not they're going to charge Manny with the death penalty. I don't see how they don't. Just taking into account that's a tourist city. All of that city's money comes from tourism, and it happened at the Bellagio Fountains, a place where a lot of people go. It's like an iconic spot that's in movies, and you know, a lot of people want to be there, and they're not gonna just be like, okay, let's just slap them on the wrist and encourage somebody else to do the same thing. So
yeah,
today that's where we're at.
Yeah, I think they gotta lay a demo down. I think the decision today I agree with you. I think the decision today, there's only one decision to make, and that's gonna be to make an example out of him, because you know, this became national news. You know, it's all over social media. It's still all over social media. I do content on it weekly. I keeping people updated with the updates. I know Dubs does as well. And this right here is going to be a catalyst in Manny's life right here. The shooting was definitely a catalyst, and this one right here, because this is the death penalty decision. This will be, this is going to play big into his life, basically. And I don't see, like Dubs says, no way that they don't. Dubs, you know, you go into a city like Vegas, like you said, tourism, a lot of people. This shooting was done with hundreds of people right there, children, tourists, people. You know, I've been to Vegas several times. There's always people from all over, you know, right there. And like you said, in one of the most iconic places in Vegas, in front of the Bellagio Fountains. So that's like the central of Vegas when it comes to the Strip. That's where everyone gravitates to, you know, because the fountains and the display and all that. So for him to do it right there, man, I don't see no way that they're not going to hit him with the death penalty. It was two people, especially the second murder. You know, the first one, the heat of passion, he starts shooting. The second one was more execution style, you know, which is Bubbly, which was Finny the Legend's wife. So, you know, but them two go together. I think he'll get the death penalty. Now, do you think he'll go to the box, or do you think he'll take a deal, or do you think a deal will be offered?
It depends on the attorney, the DA, district attorney. This is one of those cases where it did go worldwide. Now I think it's more of a nationwide thing, right? It's every time he goes, he's scheduled to go to court again on August 8th, right? This is one of those cases where if there is no deal offered, this DA can set himself up to be, you know, a high-priced defense attorney after this. It just depends. Whatever deputy DA gets the case. If he's smart, if he's offered a deal, he's going to take it. There's not going to be a deal without a life sentence attached to it. So if he's going to be trying to fight to get something without an L, it's not going to happen. But
well, also, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, just so you guys know, he's claiming self-defense, right? And the reason why he's claiming self-defense if you guys haven't heard yet, he's claiming that when Finney turned around and said, "What up, cuz?" that he reached for his waistband. And he's saying that not only did he see Finney reach for his waistband, but that he thought that Bubbly or Bubble, whatever her name is,
Bubbly,
that Bubbly had a gun in her hand. But the DA is saying no, she had a gimbal in her hand, which is used for recording. She had a gimbal in her hand, and they're using what Manny had to say in his videos in the days leading up to say, no, this isn't something that just happened spur of the moment. So Finney's the one that got killed. Manny's the one that that's alleged to have done the murder on tape. So we still have to say alleged because he hasn't been found guilty.
Yeah. Here's the thing. They haven't utilized the death penalty or administered the death penalty in over 20 years in Las Vegas, right? I believe that I'm sure there's people on death row, they just haven't executed anyone. I'm sure that that's not going to hold no bearing onto this case, whether they want to charge him with the death penalty. If he sits there on death row till he rots away, right? I think that they have to enforce the harshest penalty, or at least try for the harshest penalty in this situation, because of the attention that it gained and it continues to gain. So I believe that ultimately we'll find out today. Today's the decision. Now, as far as what you're saying, him claiming self-defense, I mean, he took a shot in the dark, you know what I mean? Literally. But I think everybody, tries to figure it out. Yeah.
It's not surprising because for those of you that haven't been to prison, let me look directly into the camera. For those of you that haven't been to prison, right? Let me let you know, prison is full of innocent men. If you ask them, they'll tell you, right? So Manny saying this is self-defense is no different than the guys sitting in prison that are like, I didn't do it. And they got bodies left and right. And they're like, I didn't do it. I don't know who did it, but it wasn't me. So, that's just part of the game between cops and robbers, right? Yeah. The problem with him is, as we know, everything is on video. The days leading up to the incident, he fucking recorded himself. The incident itself was recorded, and it wasn't just recorded. It wasn't just recorded by Finney and his wife. There were tourists that pulled their phones out, and unfortunately, that's why I don't know if you guys saw it, but you can see the two bodies on the ground. And when you see the two bodies on the ground immediately after the shooting, they were not administering any CPR to the wife because it was clear that it wasn't necessary. Finney survived for at least a minute, and but it's all on tape. That's the thing with him. So he can say whatever he wants to say, and he had said that he needed an extension in order to find private counsel. And as we know now, he has not retained private counsel. And my guess is nobody wants the case. You don't want to take a high profile loser.
Yeah, it's an open and shut case pretty much. The video prior to him, the shooting video, right? Which, what's crazy is all the footage that we've seen has either been the Finney that was shot, the video that was shot by Finney, the video that was shot by Manny's wife, Julie, or just other people, but we have not seen anything from the casinos. This is one of the biggest tourist towns in the world. I'm sure the casinos have cameras everywhere. Parking lots have cameras everywhere. I've watched a show where they literally follow you all day long by camera, all the way leading up to the murders people commit and all the way back home, right? So they nowadays, with social media and with cameras and everyone having them type of devices, they could just follow the murder. That's why we say it's so hard to even commit one nowadays. The most damaging evidence, period, is two things. One is going to be that video, the video where he's hunting him, where he's cruising around, alleging that he's hunting him, or allegedly that he said he was hunting him, right? That's going to be detrimental, very detrimental. And then the other one is if the district attorney is able to get into the mind of his wife, Julie, and Flipper, If they're able to get at her and for whatever reason, because with most relationships, man, not 100%, but 9 times out of 10, you know what your other half is doing,
Mm-hmm.
This is a situation where if they can get to her and figure some things out. But again, man, I think it's more of, like you said, an open and shut case. And that's the reason why, personal attorneys he couldn't retain any. Nobody wants a loser. There's not a lawyer in the world that wants to take a case that they're going to lose, especially a high profile case like this. And the district attorney loves something like this because this right here is a big notch in his belt.
Mm-hmm.
This is a clear winner for him. I don't even think the question anymore is if Manny did it. I think the reasoning now is why. That's the question.
I don't think there's a question as to why.
Not for us, but I mean, in the eyes of the court, we know a lot because of social media.
Yeah, but the court, they don't care why you did it. They just care about, hey, this something happened and we're going to solve it.
No, I know that, but I'm saying that's the only question in this case. It's not, did he commit the murders? It's on camera right there. And from what I'm hearing, there's another angle that shows Finney going down, that there's a lot of different angles. They're just not, some people haven't released them.
Of course, the casinos have cameras everywhere. But what more do we need to see? We saw exactly what happened. And then we saw, like I said, I saw the one tourist camera footage where they're administering CPR to Finney and nobody's even, just the wife was just there. She got shot in the head. It was clear as day what happened to her.
Clear as day. Now I think the only decision is the decision that they're making behind closed doors today is whether or not they're going to charge her with the death penalty. And I think me and Dubs agree. I think they will. I don't see no way around it. Now, whether the death penalty, and it's costly to the state, it's costly to the taxpayers. But I believe that because this gained so much national news and because of the way it was done, especially with the wife, that people want to see this guy hang. They want to see this guy eye for an eye. They want to see him suffer. There's there's groups, there's people that are supporting Manny that feel because he felt he was being bullied or whatever was going on, that there was some type of justification, but there's never justification for murder, period. No matter sticks and stones may break your bones, right? The words are not supposed to hurt you. But with him, he still has a following, man. Whereas Finney and the majority of the community, there's like split into 3 sections. Finney's gonna have his followers, Manny, but the community, they don't want to see anyone think that they could just go out on the streets and start shooting people, because that messes up money, messes up a lot. There's people right now that are scared to take their children out onto that strip because of what they just seen or what they're hearing. It's crazy.
Well, it's not only that, it's imagine if he gets a slap on the wrist. Somebody else will just pick up a gun and do the exact same thing.
100%.
That's part of, it's part. Hey, thank you, Mr. Smiley. There was another one. I'm sorry I missed it. But that's what a civilized society does. Swag out. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. That's what a civilized society is supposed to do. Without policing, whether, we're not going to get into that whole, defunding police bullshit, but a civilized society needs laws, and those laws need to be enforced, whatever they are. And it's to keep the society civilized. Guaranteed that, a lot of cases, especially high profile cases, what do we usually see with them? Copycats.
Yeah.
And as long as there's a stiff penalty enforced for something like this, then some people may think twice.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing about Clark County, the county that he's facing the time in Vegas, they have a very high conviction rate. Similar to 2 counties, Santa Barbara County, where you're from, they have a very high conviction rate, and Santa Clara County, San Jose, they have a very high. These are 3 that I know right off the top. I'm sure there's a lot more, but you notice these places, like your county, for instance, Santa Barbara, your city, because it is considered a tourist city, right? There's a lot of people that go. They are going to enforce the rule of law to the fullest there because that is their main income coming into that city. That's what makes that city so beautiful, is all the income that it generates for the tourist attraction, the beach, all that. So if someone is to commit a murder, they're going to go to the fullest extent of the law because they want to show the communities that, hey, We don't tolerate that shit over here, you know. And I think the same thing's gonna happen in Vegas. There's a lot of criminal activity that happens in Vegas. A lot, man. Especially like, you know, on Fremont Street. There's fights. I've been there. Every time I've been to Vegas, I've seen fights. Drunks, you know, people are drinking. It's an adult playground. So I don't know why people would have their kids out after dark, but everyone has the option to do whatever they want to do. But still, it's a dangerous place. Vegas is dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And but something like this, and I think all the social media hype behind it is just making it into something way bigger. And they're gonna lay a demo down for his ass. I believe today, man. We'll find out if he's facing the death penalty, which I don't think is going to make a difference. I think he's going to take a deal and stay forever in prison anyways. So,
yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. You know, and then we have to remember Las Vegas was founded by organized crime. And Vegas has been very, very like dope in Vegas. Oh, they'll hang you over there over dope. Like especially back in the days, meth. They were not playing because of the history of the founding of the city. They decided, hey, we need tourists to want to come, not be afraid that there's going to be gangs and crime and organized crime and all that. And so that's another reason why they've been very, very strict over there when it comes to a lot of different things. You know, when you said that it's costly to the taxpayers, well, this is doubly costly because he doesn't have private counsel. So we're paying for the prosecution as well as the defense of this. Well, not us, but the people of Nevada are paying for the prosecution as well as the defense. And the way the law works, at least in California, and I don't see it being any different across the United States, is it's supposed to be an equal fight, right? So I'll give you an example. So on my case, my attorney wanted 20 racks, right? This is 1993. He wanted 20 racks, right? He got 14 and we're like, that's all we could do. He's like, don't trip. He said, because this case, I was charged. Well, initially I was indicted, grand jury indictment for lying in wait. They try to, you know, enforce either the death penalty or LWOP on me. But my attorney was like, hey, the amount of money they get to spend, we get to petition the state to make sure we're on an even playing field. And so I'm sure whatever public defender Manny has, they're going to be asking for a lot, you know. So whatever experts they need, the taxpayers are paying for it. You know, whatever they need, if it's they have all his attorney has to do is petition for it, and it'll probably be granted. Because if not, it'll be grounds for appeal or it'll be brought up on appeal.
Yeah. Or grounds for mistrial, all different types of things. Here's the thing. I don't believe it's going to even get that far. You know, when this whole thing went down, there was a lot of people that reached out to me because I've been trying to tap in, and I've gotten, and you know, because I've talked to you behind the scenes, I've gotten to the core almost pretty close, as close as you can get, right? I've talked with individuals, but I'll say this, immediately people were saying, and I didn't know too much about Manny. I watched a few of his channels, the Sin City Family, a few of his videos and lives, and people were saying that his ego was crazy. It got crazy towards the end. That's why a lot of people fell off from supporting him, right? And I've seen it happen. So I you know, but that they believed he would take it to the box just because that's his attitude, that's his ego. He's a narcissist. That they believe that he knew he's probably going on anyways to do life. So why not go all the way so he could tell his side of the story and all that, right? Which I understand that. But now with the death penalty on the table, that might make him rethink some things. You know what I mean? And just take a deal, get up out of there. Because,
well, he's been in the state long enough to know it's just like California. You can get sentenced to the death penalty. You can be found guilty for it and die of old age.
Yes, of course.
You're not gonna. It's the same as having a life sentence, except that they're housed in a different. They're gonna be housed with the condemned inmates, unlike California now, where they're not killing. They're not executing anyone. So everybody's out with each other now.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of, if that is his attitude towards it, why not? Why not go all the way? But that's what people are saying. Yeah, his ego, he gravitated towards the camera. So I mean, even in you could see him in court, he looks defeated. He looks a shadow of himself. Everyone does when they're first locked up. You know, he went from eating good to eating hood, right? It's all bad. So, but even the smugness of him to say, I'm innocent and things like that, right? I mean, he's playing to the camera pretty good. He's playing. I mean, he's doing what he does, but you know,
I could say for my okay. We don't have a dog in this fight, right?
not at all.
We can speak from our own experiences, and I can tell you this. In my case, I had people woofing on me when I would have court hearings. And so I acted a way where I knew they weren't going to like it. I'm not going to show you sympathy when you're acting like that. You know, you guys had an opportunity to leave that night and you chose to be tough guys. And then things went the way they went. And now you're in here in court after you told the cops exactly what happened. You called the cops when it happened. You know what I mean? And so when you get into that mind state, I understand, you know, I don't know what they're doing, right? I don't know. We know that there are people that are very attached to one side or the other, right?
Yeah.
And so I can tell you where, you know, my case, it was me and other men. And my mom was almost run over by people on that side. My mom fainted one day when I got convicted. The family tried to kick her in the head when she fell. So there's a lot of things that go on. So if Manny says he's innocent, it's for whatever's going on around him. And then what is he supposed to say? Look at the camera and say, I'm guilty? Now, a lot of people say he shouldn't have said anything, and I agree. But I mean, we know just in the little bit of reporting on this stuff that we do, or the content that we've done, there are people that get emotional and get in the comments. So imagine being in the courtroom. I mean, I would assume Manny's wife and kids aren't even going to show up to any of these hearings and may not even show up to the trial because it can get dangerous.
Yeah, it does, man. You know, there's a side that lost their family and feel that they want to, you know, they want retribution. They want revenge. They want justice in their hands, right? Ultimately, that's not the way the court's going to let it play out. But man, we see it all the time. People rush the lawyers, they rush the judge, they rush the guys while they're in there. You know, it happens. My thing with the whole Manny situation is, from what I'm hearing from the courts, there's a lot of supporters on both sides that are going in there, which could only brew fucking tension, Dubs. Because if you have one side that's supporting Manny, and these are guys that from YouTube, guys that just watch them, that are supporters that are literally going to these court cases. Then you got the other side, which could be Finney's family or his supporters.
That's exactly
what something bad.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what the courtroom is. You have the side that sits behind the DA and the side that sits behind the defense.
Yeah, what I'm saying is this right here is brewing for, because, you know, if Manny decides to take it all the way to trial, right? Say they make the decision for the death penalty, which we both agree they probably will, and he decides, you know what, fuck it. What's the worst I'm facing? His lawyer's going to let him know they're not really killing people out here, man, but still, you know, this is what we're facing. Whatever, let's go all the way. There's going to be a lot that's said in that trial, man, you know, that could get some tensions boiling. Because I don't understand killing two people for what he did it for what everyone is. And again, remember, everyone's alleging that he did it behind. We don't know what was going through this guy's head. He seemed that his mental capacity to understand things his grip on reality was starting to slip a little bit towards the end there, you know?
I have to disagree with things are going to be said that are going to be inflammatory, whatever. From who? Manny takes the stand. He's death penalty for sure.
No, I'm just saying the videos that are going to be played in all that.
Yeah. But I'm saying I don't think anything new is going to be added, because any intelligent fucking defense attorney is going to say, hey, you're not taking the stand. I'm going to try to fucking tear down whatever I can that they're going to use as evidence. I'm going to try to fight to make sure these videos, your fucking videos, you in the car, bang, 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 and all the shit you were doing, I'm going to try to fucking quash that. That's the only thing that defense attorney is going to try to do is try to suppress evidence. That case is a slam dunk.
100% slam dunk.
Everything's on tape.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Everything's on tape. Do you think within
how old are we that we're saying tape and there's no more fucking tape?
Yeah, there's no more tape. Everything's on fucking in the iCloud. Okay, everything's on the cloud now. Shit, we're
Everything's on
too
video.
old for this shit. Hey, no matter how old we get, the gun stays young, right? The gun will stay banging, and it's the same old murder cases over and over again, just done by different people for different reasoning, but it still happens the same way. Someone walks up and shoots, right? This is a crazy situation. Whereas I've never seen people, I mean, I don't even want to get into politics, but to see people divided this much over a case that's open and shut. Look, them people, that couple, no matter what they said, what antagonizing things Finney said, no matter how much shit he talked, and he talked a lot of shit. His whole channel was dedicated to talking shit. There's no doubt he didn't deserve it. His wife didn't deserve it, right? So that's open and shut right there, because there was a lot of people that are like, hey, you're defending Manny. I'm not defending Manny as a person. I could care less, to tell you the honest to God truth. What happens with Manny, that's his thing. He made his bed. He's going to lay in it. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying these are the repercussions for talking shit. There's people that play by different rules. Manny was playing by different rules. I don't think Finney believed Manny was capable. I think he believed he was a punk or he was a coward. He believed he was capable of doing this. Bubbly, on the other hand, I believe she did. She did believe, because if you watch the video closely, she was on poste. She was looking. She was aware of her surroundings. Finney was laughing, smiling. The last thing he said before he was shot, before the "what's up, cuz," was "facts, donut," because someone said that dude's a coward. He ain't going to pull up and do nothing. He said facts, turned around, and Manny was right there. So he didn't take it as serious as he should have, and it cost him his life. The unfortunate thing out of this whole situation is that the families, the children suffered. Because imagine, man, your parents going to Vegas on their anniversary or a birthday, whatever it was, and neither one of them coming back, all because of an internet beef.
And on TikTok, there's the call from Finney's son crying, asking 911 what's going on with his parents. It was a messed up call to hear. But regardless of if Finney and his wife went to Vegas knowing that Manny in his mind believed that that's his city, right? Mm-hmm. But feeling antagonized doesn't give anybody the right to murder. And so it doesn't matter what Manny says he felt. There's laws, so okay, you felt antagonized, well then fucking take a Xanax or drink a beer or something. You know what I mean? It's keep your ass home. You can't feel antagonized and then pull up to the Bellagio where they're live. Yeah, it just goes back to that he's
no, the case is done. Again, that's a done case.
Yeah, it's just now. How far does the DA want to go with it? Yeah, does the DA want to shine? If the DA wants to shine, the DA's going to say, "Hey, there's no deal."
Yeah, let's go all the way.
Try to beat me in court. If the DA wants to save money, he's going to say, "Hey, here's the deal. This is the only deal you got. You got two chances. You either take this deal or we go to the box. Either way, I don't care." And
I agree.
It's like I said, it's going to be a number. I wouldn't be surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if it's around 50 to life, 25 for each body with the L.
Life without the possibility, or just the elbow?
I mean, it doesn't matter when you're a lifer.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
The number in front of the L doesn't matter. It's still a life sentence. You can get 1,000 to life. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You can get 1 to life. It's still a life sentence. So the number, people trip out on the number. It's not the number, it's the letter. If there's a letter on it, you're done.
Yeah, when my brother was going through his case, and he was facing, 194 years, whatever, almost 200 years, because they charge him with so many different, how they do it for each victim. They're going to charge you, and they compound and all the different gang enhancements, and it wasn't even a gang-related issue. But this is how they do it. He kept calling and he kept telling me, yeah, they offer this, they offer 25 to life, they offer 30 to life. Just these different things. I said, no, L's an L. Don't take no life. And then eventually he got a date without an L, and I said, run that, right? He jumped on it quick because I was like, you're not going to get nothing better. And he's out now. He did over 24 years. He's out. But the thing is, yeah, that letter changes the whole game.
But you know what?
And with him, do you think they'll combine it and just be like, 50 to life, or do you think they'll charge him? He's being charged for 2 murders. Can they be charged him separately? Like,
that's not It wouldn't matter. I mean, it wouldn't matter if it's an Al involved. What does it matter?
No, I know that. I'm just saying. Do you think that they could do that? Like, oh, we're gonna separate hers from his. I think it's all just one thing because it's one incident, right?
Yeah. But there's something I do want to say. I don't know how Nevada is, right? I don't think they have the new laws that California has. But I'll tell you guys this is something that's a trip, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you get sentenced to 30 years with a violent crime, right? In California, if you get charged and you get sentenced to 30 years, you're going to do more time than a guy that has 20 to life now. Possibly. In California.
You got to do 85%.
Well, it depends. If you're under the juvenile, if you were under the age of 25 when you commit a murder in California, you can actually go home sooner than a guy that has a flat 30 years with 85%.
It's crazy, huh? It's the way it is, though, man.
It's different. So I don't know how it is over there, but I don't think they have the juvenile offender type stuff in Nevada that we have here in California. And it doesn't matter because he wouldn't fall under it anyways. But I'm just saying, I wonder if any of that has gone that way.
It's a situation too where Nevada's different. Nevada, different laws, different prison systems, different everything. I've been asked, like, where's he going to be housed? I don't know too much about their prison system over there. One thing I can tell you from what I've seen on videos is that they're, as far as, I don't know Manny's background as far as gangs, and I don't know Manny's background as far as any affiliation like that. But them prisons, man, they're political, just like California, pretty much. There's some homegrown gangs, but I heard that there's a lot more woods there, a lot more in that system, compared to California, where they're a minority on the yard. But I think when you have life in prison or death in prison, what does it matter? He's going to go to a situation. He's going to go to the bed that he made. As far as my whole interest in this situation is how so many people are divided over a personal beef, right? That became public because they made it public, and how so many people are like, man, he's a piece of shit. He deserves to die. There's some people going in on him. And then the same people are like, the same type of people need to understand that everyone's different. Everyone plays by different rules. Manny was from California, from Salinas originally, right? I don't know how long he stood in California, but I know the way we're raised, man, the streets are different. Someone talks shit, it'd be dealt with the street way. And it seems like that's what he wanted to do. I got into not an argument, but a debate with someone that said he just wanted attention. That's why he did that. That's why he wore the Arizona clothing. That's a cool fact that's going to be brought up, I'm sure, in trial. Dubs, he went as far as to wearing Arizona hat and Arizona jersey, knowing that Finney's from Arizona.
Yeah, but if you think about it, it's because Finney was in his city. He thought it was his city.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but it's kind of like a jab at him, So all these little things that he did, like, that's like someone's a big time 49er fan, and so I'm pulling up on him wearing all 49ers gear just to do him dirty. Like,
well, and this goes back to, I guarantee there's no way the DA would have ever known that was a jab at him if it wasn't for social media.
Yeah, social media is playing a big part into this.
I don't know where the hell Finney was from. And so social media is full of crime solvers. They are.
Yeah. Gang of investigators. Hey, look, I've been keeping up with this since it all went down. I mix for good content. You guys got to agree, right? But also, to me, it hit home personally because I've been through the trolling, and you go through it too, Dubs. As content creators, it just happens. It's the rite of passage. The trolling, the people talking shit happens, right? Gotta have thick skin. And for someone like me and you, who probably are getting trolled more than Manny ever did, right? By several different angles, we just brush our shoulders off and keep it pushing, right? This guy, you have to be weak-minded to actually let it really, really get to you that way. I understand if there's threats against you. With them, it was a little bit more. It got personal. It started getting into jobs and family, and it just got real personal. You know, to me, I look at it and I say the only outcome of this was somebody dying, unfortunately, on either side.
Well,
it got real personal.
and that's because Finney decided, hey, I'm gonna go to your city and I'm gonna broadcast where I'm from. And I mean, how didn't they see that Manny wasn't playing with a full deck? You know, it seemed
Yeah.
pretty obvious to me he was not playing with a full deck. So,
well, there was a video, and you're the one that brought it to my attention a while back when all this first happened. There was a video of Finney talking about fucking Manny's mental stability. Remember when he was talking about, he was basically trying to push him into unaliving himself. Yeah. And you know, so he was like, this guy's mentally unstable, this guy might unalive himself, he should just do it, whatever he was saying, right? That right there would have been the first red flag. I'd have been like, hold up, man, I think we should go to Reno or Tahoe instead of Vegas. You know what I mean? That would have been,
no, you can still go to Vegas, but you don't need a live broadcast and then talk back. I mean, I don't know, because then people are gonna say I'm backing up. I'm not backing up anybody.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it wasn't smart, and as we see, it didn't end up well for anybody.
Well, and that's a perfect example of not just this situation, but anyone dropping their addy, letting people know where they're at. So many times we see it on social media, people putting their whereabouts out, and bam, it goes all bad. Anyways, man, we just want to let you guys know today a death penalty decision will be made. They're behind closed doors. If it is made, man, I'll be doing a video on it. I'm sure Dubs will be doing a video on it. But we'll let you guys know what that decision is and how that's definitely going to impact Manny's trial from here on out. So with that being said, you got anything to say, Dubs?
No. Stay tuned, guys. By the way, make sure you guys go and watch our videos today. Make sure you guys subscribe to all our channels.
Yep.
And go ahead and join the membership too. And
yeah, man, like, subscribe, join the membership. That's what helps our channels tremendously, man. We're pushing for you, not for us, but for you. So let's make it happen. Thank you guys. We appreciate your time. We're out.
All right.
Thank you.